Welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. And in today's video, we have now reached the end of yet another series here on the channel. Third one this week. We are truly knocking them out. We are at the end of Konosuba, The Adventures of Spider-Ham, What If Kazuma Was Spider-Ham, Season 2, Part 4, the Season 2 finale. First and foremost, like I always do when we get to the end of a series or a particular part, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching, who's been following along, because, I have to be appreciative. A lot of these stories, they're off the wall, they're crazy, and half the time I'm not sure if anyone's even going to want to watch this stuff. But the fact that you guys have taken the time, you've taken the liking to it, it truly means a lot. I've had a lot of fun writing this series. I really have. Something to try something new. I think this is the third Konosuba story I've done on the channel. So, that's a feat in and of itself. I like to try to mix it up, use stories that you don't see get used very often. So the fact that I have a third Konosuba story under my belt is pretty damn cool. And like I've said, we might be coming back with this with the announcement of Season 3, but you never know, so always keep that in mind. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into today's video. So as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Kazuma was a lot of things. Was he a goofball? Was he a wingnut? A dingaling? A dork? Doofus? Knucklehead McSpazatron? He was all of that in a bag of chips, but Kazuma believed in the fundamentals of gender equality. Why should a man do what a woman can also do and not vice versa? No, he was a equal opportunity hero. As such, it would be unbefitting to hold oneself to such labels like the men's bath or the woman's bath when there was a perfectly good mixed bath. Kazuma would take his place in the mixed bath hot spring. There was one man and one woman in there. The woman wasn't really too fond of being stared at lecherously, and eventually she would decide to take her leave. But for Kazuma, it made no difference to him. A bath was a bath, and, well, this was pretty damn sweet. Although, the guy who was with him, though, was just mumbling, talking to himself about how crazy everyone in this town was and how he couldn't wait to be rid of them all. Perhaps the guy was under a bit more stress than even Kazuma. Of course, though, everyone was enjoying their time in Arkenretia. Aqua out of everyone. Morris Miyamura, a boy whom Aqua had sent to this world, was showing her around, giving her a grand tour of the city of Hot Springs. On top of all of that, he even set up a confessional booth where Aqua was going to be in charge of it all. Aqua felt as though she were really at home. She was with someone that really understood her, what she really wanted. To see her people thriving and happy. She was so caught up in the joys that she really didn't have time to pay attention to what was happening around her. Like how the water was continuing to be poisoned slowly. Safe to say, Kazuma was eventually getting a bit suspicious of it all, given the fact that if anyone was going to jump in, it would be Aqua. But Aqua was told that Morris was going to take care of things, and she trusted Morris. Besides, he was a man that could take initiative, a boy that really knew how to handle things, unlike a certain someone. Kazuma merely rolled his eyes at this, and for now, everyone was enjoying their portion of the vacation, save for Darkness, who was enjoying it a bit too much, seeing as how she was a worshiper of the Eris set. She was getting haggled, like a lot, to the point where she was basically being shamed everywhere she went. kids were even throwing tomatoes at her and even whacking her with sticks. Unfortunately, Kazuma had to pull Darkness out of that situation. And no, it wasn't because Darkness was in danger. It's because those kids were in danger. Everyone was in danger because she was enjoying the shaming way too much. Eventually, though, everyone would gather together at the inn for the night. As they were preparing for dinner, they hadn't heard any word from Aqua at all, but they could hear some startling conversation going on outside. There were loud roars coming from everywhere. It sounded like a mob was gathering. Kazuma would open the window and look down below to see that it was indeed a mob. The people of Arkenretia were angry. Why? Because they had received word that some recent tourists were said to be in line with the Devil King, and what's more, they were responsible for poisoning their water. And well, what do you know? Kazuma and his friends were the ones deemed responsible. Kazuma, Wiz, Ado, Megumin, and Darkness would all have to run for their lives as they found themselves being chased. Kazuma would curse under his breath, wondering where Aqua was at a time like this. With her power, they could easily get rid of the poison, but she was nowhere to be found. Probably off gallivanting with that damn Morris guy. The others would start to ask if Kazuma were getting a bit jealous, to which Kazuma would reply that that wasn't the case at all. It was just that something didn't seem right, although he really couldn't put his fingers on it at all. Ado would suggest that they make their way up the mountains where the hot spring water was coming from. If someone was poisoning it, that would most likely be the area where they would start. The group would take the advice as they made their way up the mountain, eventually finding a stopgap in the road, a sort of halting, if you will, as no one was allowed to go up any further. Despite their efforts of trying to convince the guards otherwise, eventually they realized they did have an ace in the hole, that being in the form of Darkness, aka La Latina Dustinus. If she could show her royal crest of her family heirloom, then they were sure that they could get in then. Of course, Darkness didn't like the idea of just lauding her family name and her power over people so recklessly, to which Kazuma and the others responded by holding her down, grabbing her all over, finding the damn thing, and showing it off so that they could get where they needed to go. Before long, the group would eventually arrive to the base of the hot springs on the mountain, where they would find the culprit. It was that guy from before, Kazuma would think. Kazuma transforming into the Spider Ham. Alright, wise guy. So you've been the one poisoning the water? Wait. Does he look familiar, Ado? Yes. That shape, he does seem to look quite familiar. Hey, do we know you? Wiz would ask. Of course, the man who was near the water would attempt to not turn around. After all, of all the people, her and the damn cat? I thought he had defected. Well, not so much defected. They all thought he was dead. So the fact that he was still here meant someone was lying. But still, though, he tried to play it off like he really didn't know them. But unfortunately, Wiz would recognize him. Ah, yes! Hans, the slime, Otto would say. Oh, it's Hans! Hi, Hans! It's so good to see you! Oh, what the hell? Why would you go and say my name, you damn lich? I'm sorry. I was just really happy to see a friend. And why are you getting involved in my business? You made a deal, remember? That you would maintain the barrier and in exchange, you wouldn't be getting involved in our affairs. Well, yeah, I wasn't really getting involved. I just thought I'd be seeing a longtime friend. Well, it's obvious to me that you're trying to destroy Arkenretia, Otto would say. So, who put you up to this? Was it the king himself? Actually, no. Although the people of Arkham have been a bit of a nuisance for a while. So it would do His Majesty good to see the city finally wiped off the board. And it just so happens that I have friends in high places. Meanwhile, on the other side, Aqua and Morris would be making their way up the mountain together. Together, they were going to finally fix this problem. Aqua was so happy to have Morris here, someone she felt she could truly rely on, someone who truly understood. Don't worry, I promise you, everything's going to be just fine. All you have to do is hold my hand. If you can amplify my power, then I can use it, and I can purify all of Arkham without changing the water from its spring water to warm water. Wait, you can do that? Of course. I've only been able to gain this much power because of you. You've been my guide all this time. So please, Lady Aqua, lend me your strength once more, and we can save Arkham together. Aqua would do just so. As she took his hand, she would transfer her vitality to him. When a god or a goddess transfers their vitality when they're in the mortal world to a human, it can only be done if they give the power willingly. As such, with Aqua's consent, Morris could take as much of her power as he wanted. He gripped her hand rather tight. Morris? It's fine. Don't stop. Aqua would nod as she kept doing so. It suddenly didn't feel all that good, though. She could feel her vitality starting to fade. Her hair that was once a bright aqua blue was now starting to change to a dull hue of the blue color. Her strength was beginning to fade. She wanted to let go, but she couldn't. Morris, you're kind of hurting me. Isn't this what you wanted? Morris would smile, his body now changing to water and human form at will. The power, the control. Morris, please, let go. You know, your friend was right. You truly are an idiot. Huh? Come on. You think I did all of this because I care about you? You are a dumb goddess who was foolish enough to give me power. You are truly stupid. But I must thank you. Even if you don't have your full power, this will suffice. And now that you've been willing to give me your power without reservation, I can use you as much as I want. Aqua would collapse to the ground. Morris? What? Why? Because you really thought I was gonna fight the Devil King? You truly are a stupid bitch. Nah, but you got a cute face. I'm sure I can get some fun out of you. Once I've tapped you dry, and I've had my fill, I'll make sure to end it quick. You can go swimming in the sea and be with the water you love so much. Morris would grab her hand tighter as he absorbed more and more of her power. In the meantime, the others would all do their part as they battled against Hans the Slime, who had now transformed into his more monstrous state. Even Wiz, who was normally passive, was now enthralled in the fighting. You see, she had agreed to stay out under the condition that the Devil King's generals not cause any harm unnecessarily. And when she found out that the neighboring villages had all been killed by Hans, it fueled her deep-seated anger, awakening the Ice Queen. Kazuma and the others would all join in together doing their part, as Wiz would use the full extent of her ice magic and Megami with her explosions, together being able to freeze over the large slime and destroying him. Although destroy would be a stretch, reduced to a tiny blob was more like it. However, just when they thought that the victory was theirs, they heard a familiar voice. Well, it seems you truly do live to the legend, pig boy. What the? Morris? Kazuma would say. Aqua! He held Aqua in his arms as he threw her towards the group, Kazuma catching her immediately. Aqua! Come on! Are you okay? Aqua! Kazuma, I'm so sorry. Kazuma, is she alright? Aqua! Aqua! What did you do? It's not what I did. It's what she did. She gave me her power willingly. Now I am the master of water. Otto and Wiz would attack him. However, Otto would find himself being pushed back as Morris would transform into his hydro state. Even when Wiz tried to freeze him, he could merely unfreeze himself. He had mastery over his water form, whether that be liquid or solid. In the meantime, Kazuma would be by Wiz's side, as he was trying to figure out what to do. As he held Aqua in his arms, Darkness would be in the fray as well. Megami, she had already tapped herself out with Explosion. She couldn't do anything else. It's gonna be alright, Aqua. It's not. You were right. I am useless. I'm stupid. And I'm foolish. I just wanted to help them. I know they're weird. And I know that everyone thinks they're crazy, but they're my people. And he hurt them. I couldn't protect them when they needed me. You're right. I'm a dumb goddess. And I can't do anything. An anger inside of Kazuma. A swelling of power. One that he had not felt before. Began to irradiate within him. Spider-Ham looked towards Morris Miyamura, the Hydro Man. As his friends all fought against him, he sat Aqua to the ground as he held her hand. It's gonna be alright, Aqua. You might make mistakes at times. And yeah, sometimes you can be annoying. But all the same, it doesn't change a thing. I have a lot of regrets in my life. I didn't live or amount to anything. My death, it was pathetic. I lived a shallow, empty, meaningless life. But you know something? Out of all the regrets I have, I don't regret bringing you with me. Aqua could feel the power flowing within her as Kazuma walked towards Morris. Now in his Hydro Man state, he was nearly impossible to take down. So, what the pig wants is revenge. Revenge for his foolish goddess. What? You come to fight me? Fight you? Nah. I'm gonna kill you. Kazuma would lunge towards Hydro Man, as Hydro Man would use his hydric body, moving around Kazuma in all of his attacks. The two of them would begin a flurry of violence all across the battlefield, the people watching on, as Kazuma would thrash and lunge towards him violently. Even when he was pinned to the ground, Kazuma would use his strength to overcome before grabbing a large boulder and hurling it straight towards him. Is that all you got? It's not even close. Why do you care, Kazuma? You agree with me, don't you? She's useless, pathetic, a waste of time. Why even bother? Why bother? Because, unlike you selfish piece of shit, she actually cares about these people. You lied to her. You used her. You hurt her. And just why? Why is it a concern to you? Because she's my friend! Kazuma would lunge towards him once more, only for him to be drowned out, as Morris would drag him to the waters themselves, pulling him deep down, hoping to drown him out. What's the matter? All you have to do is just take one big gulp. Oh, I'm sorry. You can't breathe underwater now, can you? Maybe you should have had the power of a fish, or some type of amphibious creature. But no. Instead, I must agree with her. You turned into a sleazy, slimy, no-good pig. A pig that's gonna drown at the bottom of the lake with no one to save you. A light would come shining from above, as Aqua would come swimming down immediately. The goddess of water regaining her vitality, regaining her vigor. She was able to use her power to push back Morris somewhat, the power that was given to her by Kazuma. She pulled him out from under the waters as they made their way back up, darkness giving them a hand as she dove in after them, pulling her friends back up and to safety. Morris would follow not too long after, as he began to grow in size, turning into a massive body of water. You don't have the power to win. It's over. It's not over yet. Kazuma would reach out his hand to Aqua. Do you trust me? Of course. The two would hold hands together, as Aqua would channel the power of Requiem, the fist of the Fury, the power of the gods. It's all I'm able to make. Don't worry, it'll be enough. Spider-Ham would walk towards the large, monstrous water man. He would jump and dodge every attack, every tendril of water, every offense that came his way. Kazuma would jump high into the air, jumping as far as he could. He would yell to Wiz to give him a boost. She would do just so, as she created a large torrent of ice, shooting it high above, allowing for Kazuma to grab hold of it and climb higher and higher. He was now far up in the air, with only one way to go, that being down. Hydro Man would wait down below, as he created a drill made out of water. Now you die, Spider-Ham. I don't think so. Taking his right hand that was now glowing multiple colors, Kazuma would bite down onto his thumb as he blew inside of it. What's he doing? He's using the power of the tune. His tune force. What? Kazuma would blow more and more air into his fist until it became like that of a giant as he transferred the hot air along with the power given to him that was now magnified. This is what I learned from watching anime, from never going to school. I take my fist and I create the fist of a giant. Now, let's end this. Kazuma would now charge towards Morris. Morris charging towards Kazuma. The two yelling out as their final clash was set to take hold. Goddess Requiem! Kazuma would smash the giant fist of the gods, enveloped and strengthened by the power of the tune. The power of the tune force fist, disrupting, nearly destroying all of the power that Morris had absorbed from Aqua. It sent multiple shock waves all through his body, creating the natural enemy of water, that being electricity. Multicolored sparks and trickles of lightning would shimmer and crash all through his body as he began to shrink in size, more and more and more, until eventually he evaporated. There was nothing left of him, destroyed on a cellular level. Kazuma was going to crash all the way to the ground, seeing as how he was entirely out of energy and spent. But thankfully, there was someone there to catch him. That being Aqua. The people of Arkenretia were grateful for their heroes, having saved them from the evil mayor and his schemes. Although, in the end, they were kicked out. That being because, despite their good deeds, all of the hot spring water had been turned to boiling water. So, thus, Arkenretia was effectively useless. So, in the end, you could say that the Devil King got what he wanted in the end. Hans didn't get away. He was eventually captured and exorcised by Aqua. That was the least she could do. Before long, the group would make their way back home to Axel. Safe to say, their journey in Arkenretia had definitely been more eventful than they would have hoped. But still, coming back home, seeing the familiar faces, in the end, that was all that mattered. As they all made their way back home to the mansion, Megumin and Yun having their duel, Darkness deciding to go out and do a little bit of training, Kazuma would just be sitting, looking out the window. That was until Aqua walked into the room. She handed him a box. Kazuma wondered what was inside, but he saw it. His old tracksuit. It got burnt up when Aqua tried to use it for fire purposes, and he had been meaning to get it repaired, but she fixed it. As good as new. Aqua, I don't... It's okay. Really. You know, Kazuma, I've seen a lot of heroes in my lifetime, but none of them have ever been what you were, what you are. What I'm trying to say is, you don't have to. Come on, don't get soft on me. Like I'd ever do that. But seriously, Kazuma, Thank you. Kazuma smiled as he looked out of the window. This world was crazy, dangerous, unpredictable, but still, to the gods that watch over it, give it a blessing, for it is truly a wonderful world. As night fell over the city of Axel, 3 figures approached the salty Splatoon as the bodyguards stood outside, towering over them. "Welcome to the salty Splatoon. How tough are you?" Before he had a chance to finish, he found himself being flung overhead and thrown into a pile of trash. Was that really necessary? What? It's not like we're from here. He'll be fine. As they made their way inside, they went to the succubus lounge, where they found who they were looking for. He would be in a place as debaucherous as this. Are you sure we're supposed to be bringing him along? Don't worry, Lloyd. He's exactly who we're looking for. Can I, help you guys? I don't owe you money, do I? I mean, I have it, but I really don't. We didn't come here for money. Kazuma Sato. Ah, so you know my name. But did you come for Kazuma Sato, or we came for Spider Ham? Oh, well, I guess my reputation precedes me. So, who exactly are you? The name's Miyuki Shirogane. Lloyd Forger. And my name is Peter Parker. And we need your help. So you've come to my place looking for help, huh? Okay, what's the job? Gotta fight giant toads? Gotta save a princess? Come on, what do you got for me? We need your help to save the multiverse. This concludes Konosuba, The Adventures of Spider-Ham. What If Kazuma Was Spider-Ham? Season 2, Part 4, the Season 2 finale. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.